welcome to Let's Play Gran Turismo 3. Welcome to Let's Play Gran Turismo. Episode 18. And I've already fucked up the intro. So, anyways. Now that I have officially completed arcade mode, it is now time for us to return to simulation mode. And of course, we are notably going to be doing our next cup, which of course, if we have a look over in the GT League section, is the Clubman Cup. So obviously, I'm not going to use my Daimyo because obviously, my Master Daimyo is basically well down on power, and I know very well that I will probably be last in every race by some margin, so I think for the Clubman Cup, we are going to use our TRD 3000 GT. So now of course we are going to head over to Toyota, because that's essentially what TRD is, and do some tuning. Also furthermore some much needed tuning as well. So putting on the racing exhaust because I'll probably need it. Sport brakes, probably need those as well. And just squeeze some extra power onto the engine. And well, as you can see up there, because this car is a turbo, 10 horsepower for 6 grand. I've already got on the racing muffler, I've also got on the computer chip. Yeah, sure, why not? Well, engine balancing, okay, I won't do that. Well, because this car is a turbo, I may not be able to get engine tuning, but I am of course able to get tuning for the turbo. So fitting the large intercooler, and since I am speculating this will probably be a tough one, I'm going to put on the stage 2 turbo, just so I should be on pace with the AI, sport suspension, and also hard stabilizers front and rear. And also putting on soft racing tyres on both the front and rear, semi-racing of course. And also we are going to do some weight reduction. So stage 1, considering this car I think was originally about 1,453 pounds, as far as I know, originally. And well, of course, I am now... you know what, fuck it, I'll put on stage 2. Then, as far as I know, my car should be nimble enough. And well, just for comparison's sake, this is how much my car weighs now. 1,359 kilos. So, now that we essentially have all this done, it's now time for us to head over to the race events, and the first A-Class event, the Clubman Cup. This is where you go after graduating from the amateur class. Advanced skills are required. So this is our first A-Class event, the Clubman Cup. 3 races. We also need an A license in order to gain access to this event. And so 3 races: Autumn Ring, Clubman Stage Route 5 and Trial Mountain. 500 credits we receive if we can claim the pole, 20,000 if we can win the championship, and also 7,000 if we can win a race. But as far as I know, I've probably done enough tuning to this car in order to make it acceptable to race under the conditions with the AI, and hopefully if it's possible I should be able to win at least 2 out of 3 races, or probably 2 out of 3 at the most. But yeah, here we go. It is now time for the Clubman Cup. Let's see how we fucking go. And by my prediction, I would estimate terribly. But it could just be my prediction. So we have a relatively interesting field here. A Subaru Impreza Wagon WRX, a Toyota MR2 GTS, a Nissan 180 SX Type X, a Mitsubishi Eclipse GT, and a Honda Civic Type R to essentially round off the field. And also notable to say that the weight reduction was probably needed, because essentially I've only just discovered I also have the heaviest car here. So let's see how we go in qualifying. And if if I qualify last, then obviously I'm just not going to bother with qualifying again. At least for the rest of this championship. But anyways, yeah. Let's see how we go for the first qualifying session of the Clubman Cup. So these are the results of qualifying. And well, notably overall, I discovered on this qualifying run, my TRD 3000 GT definitely likes to bounce a lot. And I of course was 2 seconds off the pace, because notably overall, it was also the bounciness of this car that notably caused me to spin on my qualifying lap, which is precisely why I qualified last. But hopefully the race will go better. So, it is now time for race 1 of the Clubman Cup. And also, I've noticed... I've noticed of course that when this car is revving off the line, the rev counter, from what I can see, as soon as it approaches the red zone, that tachometer, it definitely angry. As I of course am notably trying to prevent this car from bouncing, because, oh, okay, that was not good. But somehow I managed to avoid spinning the car again, like I did on my qualifying run. And I'm still bouncing. So that probably is a problem. So that, I'm speculating, is probably going to be a problem. At least I would speculate that's what it will be at Trial Mountain. Because I've noticed this car definitely likes to bounce a lot. Particularly since I know very well this car is essentially a turbo. And a 123.3. So I was essentially less than a second quicker on the first lap than I was on my qualifying lap. But again, it would have still been a second off the pace anyway. But thankfully at least, qualifying pace is not as critical in this game as race pace. still end up bouncing anyway. And yep. Yep, my modified Supra is definitely a bouncy boy, I've noticed. As we are heading through the spiral, over the bridge, now heading through the final sequence of corners, as I am managing to keep this car under control. And it is going to be victory number 1 for the TRD. Impreza just charged into the back of me. But anyways, these of course are your overall point standings, and I've also noticed of course the Civic is well off the pace of everyone else. But I think I've established, because this car is a bouncy boy, I don't think I'm going to attempt qualifying for the next 2 races, because essentially that will pretty much just symbolise the fact I'm saying, okay, well, 7 grand for winning, but anyways. So, I'm not going to attempt qualifying because I know very well that will only really symbolise trouble for this car essentially, or so I predict. And of course, I will need to remove a replay so I can get this one in, as this is segment number 18. Just figured at the same time I'd serve a replay nice and early, because now it is time for us to move on to the second race at Clubman Stage Route 5. And well, since I would imagine this is a city course, it probably won't be as bumpy, but again, because I fear for how the car is probably going to bounce on the qualifying lap and probably make me spin again, I'm not going to bother qualifying, because I have a feeling that tells me I will probably just be last. But anyways, let's head to race 2 at Clubman Stage Route 5. And why I skipped qualifying? Well, because I know very well this car will definitely be bouncing around a lot, and I don't want that to happen. As I, of course, am now already away, and I'm already up into 4th position, and I'm definitely sliding a bit. And also, I've noticed the MR2 is up there as well. Whilst I, of course, am essentially trying to keep this car under control. And well, I, of course, am already up into 1st. And I'm already in the wall. And my car is sliding a lot. But at the very least, because this is a city course, I'm definitely relieved on how this car is not skidding too much. Which at least, to me anyway, is a relief. And it's bouncing. Oh, the bounciness on the left hand side. The bounciness on my suspension. It's almost like I have a hydraulic suspension. So, onto our second lap. Looks like it probably will be an easy W for me. Essentially with the Scooby in second, and probably with the MR2 in third. So, approaching the line, and it is win number 2 for the 3000 GT. tuned soup wins again. And, oh, okay. And this time the MR2 finished in 4th, behind the 180. So these, of course, are the point standings going into the final race. Well, I would say 1st and 2nd are probably already secure by both me and the Subaru. The Nissan 180 SX currently has a 3-point advantage in 3rd over the MR2. The Eclipse is in 5th, and also the Civic is still in last. And also, furthermore, margins, of course, with these AI further back aren't exactly staying close to the leaders. Essentially myself, of course, with the RX-7, sorry. Essentially myself, of course, with the Impreza wagon and probably also the 180. But yeah, there we go. 2 down, 1 to go. Can we win at Trial Mountain, in spite of all the bumpiness that this fucking circuit is probably going to give me? Fuck qualifying, because I know with the bounciness I will just be last. So it is going to be interesting to see who will grab 4th, considering there's only 2 points essentially between 4th and 6th. So pretty much anything could happen. But anyways, it is now time for the 3rd and final race of the Clubman Cup, Trial Mountain. And is there going to be bounciness? My speculation is saying yes. I will rightfully claim there is going to be a lot of bounciness in this race. As you can see there, this is definitely a bumpy circuit, which means, of course, this car is probably going to be bouncing around a lot for these 2 laps around Trial Mountain. And somehow still managing to stay under control in spite of all the fucking bounciness that is surrounding me on both sides. Because this car is just so fucking bouncy. Also, to anyone asking about my replay at Grand Valley, well, I essentially did that race again because I realised I did not save a replay, unfortunately. And eventually as a result of that, I soon realised that notably I had to do the A-Class race at Gran Valley again, and I am making this clear, and essentially I had to save another race, but hopefully, if it's possible, I will get a decent enough thumbnail shot. And there is the bounciness. Oh, dicks. Yep, okay. Well, thankfully at least I only have to do this event once. But anyways, as I was saying, hopefully I should be able to give myself a decent enough thumbnail to just focus on the Viper rather than on the rest of the field. Yeah, essentially just a shot of the Viper I used alone. But anyways, I did manage to save a replay, even though obviously it's not the replay. But yeah. And we are sliding through the hairpin as we are now heading up the hill into these final 2 hairpins. keeping the machine under control as I should, and it's managing to stay stable on the curbs this time, so no official twitchiness from the soup as we now head across the line, and it is 3 out of 3 for the tuned soup, because that's essentially what this car is, a tuned variant of the Toyota Supra. Also, furthermore, we have a tie for 4th. Anyways, so it is another easy 27 points for me. Also an easy 18 points for the Subaru. Also along, of course, with a simple 12 points for the Nissan 180. The Eclipse and the MR2 were both tied for 4th, and in last with a not perfect, but essentially measly 4 points, we have the Civic. So 27, 18, 12, 7, 7 and 4 are your final point standings for the Clubman Cup. So setting a new record, and I also set a new lap record as well. So winning another 87 grand, and already saved a replay. So now we are going to claim our prize money. So 20 grand for winning, and we also get the trophy animation once again, very nice, and we also get a new car. I wonder what that car will be. We will just have to wait and see. But anyways, there we go. The Clubman Cup is now complete. And next up is the Gran Turismo Cup. So heading over to the home page, and I do believe with GT League events you only get one prize car, which means, of course, essentially with the GT League events I only have to do these once. And also, this is the prize car we win, a 30th anniversary Chevrolet Camaro Z28. The prize car we officially win from the Clubman Cup. So, since this is the only prize car we can win, because essentially overall with most of the GT League events you can only win one prize car, that is officially it for this segment. So yeah, anyways, that was the Clubman Cup. Next up is the Gran Turismo Cup. And will we score a perfect 27? Whatever the score is for the next one. We will just have to wait and find out. Until then, stay tuned for more GT1.